Hello again everyone and welcome to another video. So finally, a week since the last video and today the football is finally back. Aston Villa against Sheffield United at 6 o'clock tonight, followed by Manchester City v Arsenal. 6 o'clock and 8:15 for those. We are finally here. The football is finally back. I've just recently noticed I've picked up a few new subscribers, so welcome along to you guys or girls, whoever you may be. Hope you're enjoying the content. The lifeblood of this channel, as I always say, is I always go and see a live football match. I'm trying to do the 92 and I mainly go and see non-league football. I go either by myself or with my good friends Robbie, Adam, Lee, Mr. Grantham and his son Reese. I miss you guys. Can't wait to get back to it. So, like I said, normally do football videos, live games. Go back and check any of them out if you haven't had a look. I will highly recommend pointing you in the direction of Malvern Town against Loughborough University. 9-goal thriller. Definitely worth going back and having a look. Any game involving Malvern Town. Good games of Hales Owen. Lots of excellent games to look at. Go back and check them out. Anyway, let's get on to what has been going on over the past week. We begin in Scotland. Hearts in the Scottish Premier League. I say Scottish Premier League. The Scottish leagues are all finished on points per game, and Hearts finished bottom of the league. They got relegated out of the Premier League on points per game. They are not very happy about it. They have put a legal case against the SPFL in Scotland to try and claim back £4 million in compensation. There was a slight hope for them that there may be a redeveloped season next season where they'd increase the Premier League to 12 teams, First Division to 12 teams, in which case they would have not been relegated. But it was put to a vote to the clubs and it was thrown out the window basically, and Hearts are being relegated. So they are putting their legal challenge forward, looking to claim compensation back. Leave your thoughts on that below in the comments. Back into England and Charlton Athletic. They have been taken over recently. I believe they are owned by E Street Investments. I'm hoping I've got that right. And they have been bought out by a chap called Paul Elliott. I've no idea who he is, so it's kind of new owners, but not new owners, but there is a new guy at the helm, and we'll see what happens there. I can't remember if I mentioned in the last video, but Lyle Taylor, one of Charlton's best players, plays up front, scored quite a few goals for them this season. He is refusing to play. He's contracted until the 30th of June, so obviously he could possibly get 2 or 3 games in before his contract expires, but he's refusing to play because reputedly 12 clubs are interested in signing him, so he doesn't want to play in fear of getting injured. So he's in breach of his contract there. Do you think he's doing the right thing? Obviously, like I said, he's in breach of his contract, but apparently there is word about that he may have made a U-turn. He's been in talks with Lee Bowyer, the manager, about coming back into play. How true that is or not, I do not know, but leave your thoughts below. Will Lyle Taylor play for Charlton Athletic again this season? I think if he does, he will certainly help in their quest to stay up. Some coronavirus tests. Michael O'Neill, the Stoke City manager, I believe the first manager in the country, has tested positive for coronavirus. So he has been in isolation. I believe this was last Thursday or Friday. So hopefully he is all right and he will be back and ready and raring to go for their game at the weekend. In the last video, I predicted when I thought the League One playoffs would be, not finals, playoffs. League Two begins on Thursday, and the second leg will be on Monday, and then the following Monday, which I think is the 30th of June, so or maybe the 29th. So they have no issue with player contracts. Those games will be in before the contracts expire. But I thought League One playoffs would be the day after on each occasion, but they are not. They will be the first legs Friday the 3rd of July, and it's Portsmouth against Oxford and Fleetwood against Wycombe. The second legs will be on Monday the 6th of July, and the playoff final will be on Monday the 13th of July at Wembley Stadium. Like I said, the football is back, and the football has been back in Spain. There's been a lot of talk about fans turning up at stadiums. Obviously, we don't want that to happen. I mean, from a selfish point of view, I certainly don't want that to happen and get anything like a second wave, because I want to get back to watching football live in the flesh like I have been for the last few years. So Sevilla beat Real Betis. These are two teams from the same city, and unfortunately quite a few fans turned up at the stadium. I mean, it wasn't a ridiculous amount, it only looked like a few hundred, but still far more than there should have been. And this is relevant here because on Sunday, the Merseyside derby, Everton against Liverpool at Goodison Park, Goodison has been granted a safety certificate for that game to go ahead at Goodison. There was talk of that one being one of the games that might possibly be played behind closed doors, but Goodison has been given a safety certificate, so the game will be there. On to Birmingham City in the Championship. The EFL have charged them for a breach of some kind. I've no idea what it is. I'm guessing here. This has nothing to do with the points deduction last season, technically, but it may be because they have not been following the EFL's plan of what they should be doing since then. So the EFL charged them, but the Commission decided that Birmingham were not guilty. Excuse me. The EFL appealed against the Commission's decision, and then it was ruled in favour of the EFL. So you would assume then that Birmingham had done something wrong, and a points deduction or a fine would be going their way. But there isn't, oddly. If there happens to be any Birmingham fans watching this, I very much doubt there will be with me being a Villa fan, but if there is, and you know what is going on there, do let us know in the comments. Very strange one. Why did the EFL appeal that, win the appeal, and not impose any sanctions? Just doesn't make any sense. Perhaps they're just flexing their muscles to show the teams that if they want to appeal these things, they can and they may win. Well, and they have won. Maybe it's because of that. Who knows? Let me know in the comments. I mean, but if you're a Sheffield Wednesday or a Derby fan now, or, you know, to do those clubs, they have been charged by the EFL for breaches of FFP. If they get points deduction, they'll be up in arms, obviously, because they've not done anything to Birmingham. So, very odd. And staying at Birmingham, Pep Clotet, the manager, he will be leaving at the end of the season. According to him, and I quote, he said he is leaving to explore other coaching opportunities. Now, we all know Birmingham have been rattling through some managers over the last few years under the Trillion Trophy group. They do like a new manager quite frequently. And apparently, Nigel Clough, formerly of Burton, has held preliminary talks with the club. Let me know your thoughts on that. Who do you think will be the next Birmingham City manager? The latest COVID tests in the Premier League, there were 2 positive out of around 1,200. One has been undisclosed, and the other one we know is at Norwich City, and it is a player. We don't know who the player is. He has not been named, but he is in isolation now, and he's going to miss the Southampton game on Friday. So I'm sure Norwich City fans out there will be hoping and praying that that player is not Pukki or Buendia, because they are 2 of their better players, and they are very important to them. Black Lives Matter campaign, the Premier League players' names on their shirts will be replaced with the words Black Lives Matter for the opening 12 rounds of fixtures. So by my calculations, that is the 2 games this evening, the Villa and Man City games, and then a full round at the weekend. The Premier League will support any player who takes a knee before or during a game. Fair enough. A Black Lives Matter badge will feature on all playing shirts alongside another badge thanking all NHS staff and workers for the rest of the season. Very nice gesture. Would it be better, though, for relevance to football, if they promoted kick it out on the shirts due to the internal fight against racism in football? Leave your comments below on that one. Dean Henderson, the Sheffield United goalkeeper, who is on loan from Manchester United. Obviously, this time of the season, usually all loans would have expired. It seems he is going to stay at Sheffield United until the end of the season. Very good young English goalkeeper. Manchester United have got good one there. Obviously, they've got David De Gea at the moment. But if and when they decide to move him on, Dean Henderson doing very, very well. First full season in the Premier League, and who knows, next season he may well be playing in the Champions League or the Europa League. Quite possible. Doing very well, Sheffield United. Into non-league. The final issue to be resolved this season. God, I sound drunk, don't I? How will the National League end their season? Their proposal or their draft resolution is very similar to what the EFL's was. It has been sent out to the clubs and they have been asked to vote by 5 p.m. this evening. It allows playoffs subject to government guidance. In summary, the leagues will be decided on unweighted points per game, so that's where they take the amount of points a team has got and divide it by the amount of games they've played, and that will be their final total, and that will give them their final league position. Champion clubs will be promoted. Clubs will be promoted via playoffs, subject to government coronavirus guidance. Once other promotions and relegations have taken place, the National League will then relegate the number of clubs required to keep the National League at 24 teams. Now, on to Step 2 playoffs. When I say Step 2, I'm talking about the National League North and South. The government guidance stated at one point that only elite sport could return. I believe the National League interpreted this as Step 2 not being elite sport due to players not earning a significant enough wage. They went back to the government and the government said if it can be safely done, then playoffs can take place. So I believe that's now been put into the National League's hands. The resolution enables them if legally possible. In attached notes, the league described the situation as fluid and say it's impossible to second guess what might or might not be possible. So a decision on the playoffs will be made if the resolution passes. So basically, clubs are being asked to vote without knowing what it means for relegation from the National League or playoff hopefuls in Step 2. They're not going to know what happens until after they've voted. 24 National League clubs get 1 vote each, and the National League North and South clubs get 4 votes per league. For the resolution to pass, 17 votes are required. Notts County and Halifax Town have already come out and said they will back the resolution. And if it goes through, they will be in the playoffs in the National League with Harrogate, Yeovil, Boreham Wood and Barnet. If all goes through, Barrow will be promoted to League 2. Kings Lynn and Wildstone, I hope I've said that right, Wildstone or Wealdstone, correct me if you know, otherwise I'll call them Wildstone. They will be promoted from the National League North and South. If there are playoffs, relegated from the National League will be Chorley, AFC Fylde and Ebbsfleet. AFC Fylde I saw on non-league finals day last season in the FA Trophy. They beat Leyton Orient, and I believe they also finished in the playoffs last season. What a turnaround they've had in a season from top to second bottom, I believe. Not good. The National League North playoffs will be York City, Boston United, Brackley Town, Altrincham, Chester and Gateshead. The National League South playoffs will be Havant and Waterlooville, Weymouth, Bath City, Slough Town, Dartford and Dorking. So in summary, if the resolution passes with playoffs, Barrow will be promoted to League 2 and the winner of the playoffs will also be promoted to League 2. Relegated will be Chorley, AFC Fylde and Ebbsfleet, and maybe one other, depends how it goes forward. Promoted to the National League will be the playoff winners, along with Kings Lynn and Wealdstone. There will be no relegations from Step 2. If you're unaware of this, the Steps 3 to 7 of non-league all got null and voided. It was as if the season never happened, so no one will get relegated down to Step 3 out of the National League North or South, because no one is getting promoted from Step 3. And ending now with a bit of good news. The Premier League have been in talks with the government on when fans can safely return to stadiums. There have been no timelines or guidance set. They are just talking about it. So that in itself, I think, is good news, because cannot wait to get back watching football. Friday at 1:30, the FA is meeting with Step 5 and 6 leagues. They will be updated on scenario planning for the 2021 season. Last week, the FA told Step 1 and 2 clubs that the government recommends they plan for a possible September start. That sounds good to me. Sooner the better, although when it is safe, obviously. And really, really excellent news today. I'm sure most of you will probably have heard about this, but if you have not, Marcus Rashford, 22-year-old Man United frontman, has been campaigning to MPs to continue meal vouchers for underprivileged children throughout the summer holidays. If you're unaware of his work, since all this coronavirus lockdown began, Marcus Rashford has been raising money to provide 3 million meals with charity Fair Share UK. He's helped raise £20 million for them. As a child, bit background on him, Marcus was part of a 5-child family. His mother was a single parent. She worked full-time, and even she struggled to afford food for the children. They had meal vouchers. He knows how important it is to these underprivileged children. The good news, really good news of it, is the government weren't going to do it, but yesterday, they have made a U-turn, and these vouchers will continue. So really, really well done, Marcus Rashford. Excellent stuff there. I'm sure we can all agree that no child should go to bed hungry, and we can commend the government on changing their minds. Chris Sutton summed it up really well on 5 Live's Monday Night Club, and he summed it up perfectly. He said, when the pandemic started, the government were asking footballers to step up. Now you have this young role model asking the government to step up. And thankfully, they have. So that is it. We are up to date. If you've enjoyed the video, do hit the like button. I will greatly appreciate it. Leave your comments below on any of the issues I've spoken about. Who will win the League 2 playoffs? Will fans turn up at the stadiums? Let's really hope they don't. When will Liverpool win the league? I'm sure it won't be far away. Could be Sunday in the Merseyside derby. We shall see. Who will be the next Birmingham City manager? Interesting. Black Lives Matter. Should they push more now on the Kick It Out campaign? How will the National League end? What way do you see that one going? Will there be playoffs? And tonight's games. Villa, Sheffield United. Who do you think is going to win? Obviously, I hope Villa will win. I was at that game last season, the Championship game, Villa against Sheffield United. Sheffield United absolutely played us off the park for 80 minutes. They were superb. Billy Sharp scored an hat-trick, absolutely demolished us. And then somehow Villa scored 3 goals in the last 10 minutes. Sheffield United capitulated a bit, really, although they obviously went on and gained promotion. Brilliant side. Chris Wilder's done a fantastic job there. Although I hope he doesn't do so well tomorrow, because Villa need to win to get out of that relegation zone. So come on, Villa, but leave your comments. Who's going to win? Man City, Arsenal? Surely Man City are going to win that one. Let me know below. And Marcus Rashford, back to him. He tweeted out today, this was never about me or you. This was never about politics. This was a cry out for help from vulnerable parents all over the country. And I simply provided a platform for their voices to be heard. I stand proud today knowing that we have listened and we have done what is right. There is still a long way to go, but I am thankful to you all that we have given these families just one less thing to worry about tonight. The well-being of our children should always be a priority. So leave your thoughts below about Marcus Rashford. I think that's absolutely excellent what he's done there and what he's been doing all this time that I didn't know about. I don't know if you knew about it, but what a top man. We need more people like this in the world. Well done, Marcus. So please hit subscribe and ring that bell. Like I said, if you're new, go and check out any of the old videos. Feel free to share this around. Let's get more people involved, get more people following. And the fixtures coming your way until this weekend. Like I said, tonight, Villa, Sheffield United, 6 o'clock, Man City against Arsenal, 8:15, both on Sky. Tomorrow, League Two playoff first legs, Colchester against Exeter, 5:15. Northampton against Cheltenham, 7:45. Friday night, back to the Premier League. Norwich City against Southampton at 6 o'clock. And Tottenham Hotspur against Man United at 8:15. That could be a good one. I'll hopefully be back on Saturday with another video. Do a little review of Project Restart, what I thought about it, what I thought of the games. Quick update on my season highlights. I am still at it. Like I said, 70 games I've got to get through. I've managed to get through 40 so far. So I've got 30 to go. There's going to be 2 separate videos, one with all the goals on and another one with all the other stuff. I think on the goals one, there's going to be well over 300 to see. It's going to be I've really enjoyed going back over the footage. It's been really good. So I look forward to bringing that to you. Keep your eyes out for that. And like I said, hit like, hit subscribe, ring that bell, leave your comments below, share this around, and football is finally home. Yes. Thank you for watching. See you next time.